welcome back to Raving and Reviewing. My name is R, and this is my co-host V.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Today we're back with another episode reviewing the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 3, The Power Broker.
A power broker.
And man, the Power Broker did not steal the show.
Nope, no.
Who stole the show this week?
Who stole the show this week? Oh,
Yeah.
we know who stole the show.
It was Zemo.
Zemo. He was just so good in here. I hate when they make the villains likable because I'm always rooting for them. Then I feel like I'm like a bad guy. But I guess technically he's not bad in here.
Well, I mean, when this show started, I was like, I don't care for Zemo because in Civil War he was the least interesting person.
Yeah.
But here he made it like he's the most like interesting because he's gonna do something bad. Is he gonna turn evil? When is he gonna betray that, double cross them? Because that's gonna happen.
I kept waiting for that this episode. There was a point when you don't see him on screen when they're running away, and I'm like, damn it, he's gone. That's it.
Yeah, right after that big explosion, and then he like leaves, and then he puts his mask on for the first time, which is such a cool scene. He's on the crates and he's walking.
Yes, that was in the trailers.
Yeah, that made it seem like he was attacking them, but there's a lot of stuff in the trailer that like we see now, and it's like, okay, they kind of tricked us a bit, but it's good. It's good. That scene itself reminded me of the the Dark Knight actually, when you first see him in the beginning of the movie, where they're robbing the museum or the bank, and he's wearing his fake mask, and he's walking, and it's like he's holding in the other hand, but it's like so similar to the Zemo scene, which makes this like it's really good.
Yeah, the camera work and everything too is very similar to that scene.
Yeah. Now the episode I think was really well done.
I think it was really fun.
It's my favorite episode so far.
Oh, so far, yeah.
We're halfway done.
Yeah, this was the halfway mark, and I think that like if we were talking in terms of the movie, this is probably where like the conflict's gonna start after this episode. So this was really like the end of the introduction of the stories, right? And now I think we're gonna see more of the conflict, and they already kind of started focusing all of that in this episode, right? But it was, like you said, fun episode. The sets were great.
The action was great.
The action was really good. The funnies were great because of Zemo.
Zemo's funny, so he's dancing in the rave. Like, come on, that's such
so
a perfect.
Good.
That's gonna be like gift everywhere.
But when I was watching that again, I was smiling. I was like, oh my god, I forgot he did that the first time I watched it. This time I was dying. That was well done.
No, it's really well done. Him and his little butler, like his Alfred, that was really great.
I loved his Alfred. It's like a cute little grandpa.
Yeah, no, they had a lot of great moments.
Yeah.
But the show episode actually starts with the boring Cap, the ugly Cap. I don't know what we're calling him.
I guess boring Cap is a little bit nicer.
Well, we already think the other Cap is kind of boring.
That's true. The boringer Cap.
I don't know. Whatever. It's whatever this. I don't even know his real name anymore.
Wyatt? No.
Yeah,
John.
I have his name saved.
I think you had it.
John Walker.
John Walker, not Wyatt Walker.
How much we don't care.
Yeah, we really don't care.
No.
Although his story is going to be secondary and pretty important, so I think we might have to start caring after next episode.
Yeah, so I mean, he had two very small scenes in this whole episode. We'll just do both of his first because.
Let's get it out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way.
It's the most uninteresting stuff that happened.
Yeah, so the first one, he goes to that camp where the flag smashers were in Germany, and then he attacks the little guy that made like the sandwiches or something for them that they didn't like. And then the guy spits on Cap's face, and he like starts to attack him, and then battle starts. You kind of gotta calm down.
Yeah, he was like beating him, like. If we had to compare, right, Captain America wouldn't do this out of spite to anybody, right? If he's hitting anyone, he's doing it because he has a reason.
Yeah, so I mean you already see the difference. Like he will use his rage to get what he wants.
Correct.
And Battlestar kind of like distanced himself a bit. I don't know if it was the first scene. I think this was a scene where he's kind of like, we can't operate this way.
Yeah.
So I can see like there being an issue, and maybe he's gonna choose Falcon's side maybe later on.
Yeah,
like
I mean
them splitting up.
he's Falcon's counterpart, really. I think, at least in this series, like
Yeah.
you kind of see a lot of the similarities in between them, right? He's kind of
Mm-hmm.
his right hand man, just like the Falcon was to Cap.
Yeah.
I always thought more so than Bucky, because Bucky was always
Mm-hmm.
someone Cap was saving, but Falcon was like his sidekick, for lack of a better word, right? He
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
there when he was needed. So
No. So I mean, yeah, it's fine scenes. Like we're seeing like his rage. We know he's gonna become evil, or he's willing to do whatever he needs to do.
yeah,
To find whatever he's looking for, flag smashers, or is he looking for the serum? Seems like he's looking for the serum now.
I think so. Well, I think right now his reason for looking for it are quite noble, but I think he's eventually going to get affected by all the things that are happening to him, and him realizing that he's not really Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, that makes me think of I recently watched the first Cap movie the week before, the first episode, and the Dr. Erskine, the one that makes the original serum for Cap, he says a line to him like right the night before, and he's like, the serum like extenuates like your inside, so like you are a good person, so it's
That's
gonna
reflected.
you're gonna reflect that being you're gonna be even a better person. Don't let the darkness grow inside you.
Right.
And so like he was comparing to like when he gave the serum to Red Skull, he turned into a giant like huge Nazi. So like
Yeah.
so we're like, what's gonna happen when John Walker takes it? He's gonna turn into like Dark Cap and ruthless.
Yeah.
So
Right. It won't reflect. And it's not necessarily that he doesn't have goodness. I think it's more so that he has a lot to prove, which I think is what's going to breed jealousy and insecurity in him.
yeah.
And that's what's going to reflect once he takes the serum. Oh, if he takes, we're guessing.
Yeah,
if he takes the serum. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second scene was just them like assuming that
Bucky
Falcon and Bucky's freed Zemo, which technically, yeah, they did.
They did. Can we talk about that scene and how well that was done with, Zemo being freed?
Oh, that was so good.
That was so good.
And I called it first 10 minutes, Zemo is free.
Yeah. I was hoping they'd kind of drag it and there would be kind of like, or I wasn't hoping, but I was guessing just because I was like, well, what are they going to do after they free him? But I think now I see that their train of thought is really to kind of keep Zemo like a gray character in this series, right? He's making a lot of sense every time he speaks when he's on screen, not just because he's being funny, which he's actually incredibly hilarious in the series, but he's also saying a lot of things that make sense to Sam as well, right? Like, so
yeah, the scene on the plane, they're talking about the book. Bucky has his list of things he's trying to fix, and it's this. We find out it's the same book that Cap used,
right?
with your soldier, and they're talking about the troubled man, and it's
Troubled
like,
man, yeah.
And Falcon's like, you're out of line, but you're right. This is about African American experience,
right?
That was really funny.
Yeah, he talks about how the troubled man was like a really good view into the African American experience, and Sam's like, you're out of line, but okay, I get what you're saying. Like,
yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was good. There was times when he's talking about so I think this is more towards the end of the episode, but he talks about how they like idolize the superheroes, and that breeds X, Y, and Z. Like he was making sense, right? He was saying that sometimes idolizing a superhero causes more issues than it solves, right? And nobody really agreed with him, but he was obviously talking about like Captain America, right? And
but that's something, I guess, like that's a reference to Nick Fury almost. Like when the first Avengers, when Thor comes, he's like, you came here with the first time he came to Earth, and he's like, you called for this for a higher power of war. It's you brought aliens here, or gods, to Earth.
Yeah.
The same thing as Cap is like super soldiers. They're gonna create someone to be even better super soldiers.
Right.
The same thing for Hulk. Hulk was the experiment to create a better Cap.
Right.
And how did that turn out?
I mean, not so great for the Hulk. Yeah.
No, monster.
He hated himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think his perception of like the MCU and then the world that he's going to be in is, you can clearly see that the guy is very logical. So I think
he has a lot of loss. Like he lost his hometown, and they talk about over the blip. They
he's
even
upset.
like even the whole it doesn't exist anymore. It's just like been the territories have been just taken over.
Right, and he asks, right? So he's noticed, right? Superheroes are not really as good as everyone says he is, and he mentions it several times, right? He talks about Sam's like experience with like I think what's her name, Sharon says this is all you don't really buy into this bullshit of superheroes, do you? Yeah. And then Zemo says he's noticed that Sam really doesn't. He's like not so deep inside. The way he talks about it, I agree with most of what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, right, he's grieving over the loss of his country, and he asks Bucky and Sam, he's like, have you even gone to visit the sites? Have you even gone to check it out? No, right? Like you cause destruction thinking you're saving people, but you leave a bigger mess behind.
Yeah.
So I thought, I mean, he's making so much sense. And I was like, were you really even evil the whole time? Like, were we just getting one side of the story?
Yeah, I mean, I think Civil War could have been like a 4-hour movie, or could have been a couple split into 2 movies even, because there was a lot more depth to it, which I guess Robert Downey Jr. stole a show.
Yeah, which is bound to happen. I mean, come on.
One thing would have been like seeing this Zemo. I was thinking like, man, imagine that chemistry with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh
like
my
there was
God.
the only time there was like the last end of the movie Civil War, we saw Robert Downey Jr. talking to Zemo, and then he reveals that Bucky killed his parents.
Right.
And that's the only time we see them talk. Like imagine like another hour of them like hanging out or like working side by side like this.
Yeah, something similar to this. Yeah. That would have been fun to see.
No, but this is great. And then he just like steals the show from the beginning. He starts to say the little spell that would break Bucky. Doesn't then
work.
He brings him to Madripoor, which is the main stop like city in this episode.
Right.
What'd you think about the city?
God, it's so nice. You know what it first reminded me of? I don't know if you've ever seen Total Recall.
No, I haven't.
It's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from I think 80s or 90s.
I know what it is. I just never seen it.
Yeah, that it kind of reminded me of like that city.
Okay, I mean it reminded me of like a futuristic neon, not cyberpunk, but like it's something futuristic. And then we mentioned Arrow last time. It reminds me of Arrow, Starling City.
I mean, you talked about the jailbreak too, right? You said like how they broke out Zemo was kind of similar. Like you would think that would be something that happened in Arrow while he's in prison, right? Or while he's breaking
it made me think of
Slade.
Later on, I think like season 6 or 7, Oliver Brick, or like maybe earlier even, Oliver breaks Slade out to help him take on whatever's going on in that season. Which is the same thing, like he helped him put in jail, and then he's like, I need to get you out to
help me. Yeah, which is the same situation here. So I guess it's okay to make that comparison.
No, I mean it's a superhero show. They're bound.
Everything's gonna be the same.
Comparisons, and this Arrow dealt with super soldiers season 2. This is about super soldiers. Like there's bound to be something similar.
Yeah. That's fair.
No, Madripoor's cool. It seems like a city of thieves.
Yep.
Crooks. We see that firsthand. We go to the Brass Monkey.
Right. No Asian people, shockingly, right? You said this was technically like a cross between Singapore, but it really didn't feel like it. I literally just thought it was another place in America somewhere.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Singapore, so I don't know. I mean, it's very diverse over there. Who knows? I mean, I'm sure this is filmed in America, so they're not going to get a bunch of
obviously this
past the like
appropriately
fit. But like we meet. Well, they have to go out as like a fake name. Bucky can go as Bucky, as a Winter Soldier.
Bucky went as a Winter Soldier.
Zemo went as Zemo.
He's back to being.
But Sam had to pretend to be Smiling Tiger.
Right.
I don't know who this is.
Right.
But
I think there's just some generic thug that they.
It is some kind of Marvel character from the past, but I don't think he's any relevant. Maybe it would be interesting if he actually comes back later on. He's like, "Well, are you pretending to be me or something?" Which I doubt. I think that's like a one and done. Like we're done with this.
I don't think so.
But the funny scene was at the bar he has to pretend to be the Conrad Mac, and then the guy's like, "Oh, you want your usual?" And then he has to like drink some kind of weird snake poison, snake juice.
It's literally like he like cut intestine from snake. You know what that reminded me of? And this is like so out of track, but like, do you know in George Lopez they would always have like that episode where he drinks a tequila with the worm in it?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that.
I mean, that's a thing. I think like to have drink the worm. It's definitely a thing.
It is a thing. I think it's they have like they put like worms or something in it to make the drink more like, I guess, alcoholic and more of a dare to drink it.
Yeah, I mean, it also made me think of, I mean, it's not related, but like in one of the Daniel Craig 007s, he's like drinking tequila somewhere. It could be Skyfall. He's drinking the tequila, but he has like the scorpion on his hand, and then he has to finish his glass before the scorpion bites him.
Oh my god.
It seems like something they do in this kind of dangerous city. Not like the vibe. It's cool. But they get into a fight instantly, and then they try to trigger. Zima tries to trigger the Winter Soldier back, and Thor makes him fight everyone. And he's like, "Oh, he's a natural. Fights everyone. He's a natural."
Yeah. I mean, he kicks everyone's butts, guys. Like.
Yeah, and then they were brought into Shelby's office or back room or whatever. And it was a very short scene, and Shelby's gone. She's dead.
She's dead. Well, even when they're in the Brass Monkey, the club, there's a scene when we see someone in a hood, right? As they're talking about the power broker.
But that's Sharon.
Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah,
that was Sharon. I was watching like the hood, and then later on we see her.
Later
like,
on, she has the hood on. Yeah. So that was interesting.
But Shelby tells her that she gives them the name at least. Like she gives us the name that Wilfred Nagel is the doctor that's created the serum. So they got that information.
Yeah.
But it's not clear who kills her.
No, we don't know. Someone just shoots them. Yeah. So
I was thinking that was Sharon, but it's not, because there's a different sniper parked up somewhere.
Okay, it could be.
I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, we'll discuss this later. But okay, so you're thinking it's not Sharon. It was interesting though too, because Shelby gets shot as soon as their cover is breaking, right?
Yeah, Sam gets a call from his sister. He has to pretend to be, and then she says Sam.
Yeah, and the sister says Sam, so
that broke it.
Yeah, and she gets shot right after.
That she shot right then.
I don't think it's convenient. I think that happened on purpose. Whoever it is
on their side.
So I was thinking maybe it's what happened in the end with
Sharon's
the lady
assistant driver.
No, with the Wakanda lady at the end. Maybe she's been following them and protecting them, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe. So I wouldn't mention that yet, but the end of the episode, they get to Latvia, which is random place to go. They take like a walk to somewhere. I don't really know where they're going right now.
Yeah,
they're in Latvia, and like Bucky's like, I need to go for a walk, and he finds the Kimoyo beads. I didn't know what that was. I didn't remember what it was. And then we see that Ayo from Civil War and Black Panther. She's the second in charge of the Dora Milaje. Definitely pronouncing that wrong. But she was in Civil War, and I think she has like a scene with Black Widow, and she's like, "Be moved, or I'll move you," or something. I think that's like her only line.
Right. I didn't even remember her. I was really disappointed. Not that I'm glad that, they've obviously given hints about Wakanda throughout the show because Bucky's story is so linked to Wakanda.
Yeah.
But I wish it was the general. I really like the general. She is awesome. But
she's great.
Busy.
She's filming Walking Dead if she's still alive in Walking Dead. No, but I think that they went with Ayo because she was in Civil War.
Okay.
And the general was only in Black Panther and then Avengers.
Okay, that's fair.
But she did. I think she took over as a higher role. But maybe now that Chadwick Boseman has passed away, they need other members of Wakanda to take up the role. I would think maybe, most likely, it would have been Chadwick Boseman there, and at this scene.
Yeah. That would have been nice, but
yeah. No, but I think it's interesting to see. We're gonna get to see Ao.
Okay,
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Listen, it's a connection and a door into Wakanda, which is I
Mm-hmm.
think where Bucky's story is definitely going to lead into, right? So
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I think
yeah,
now it points to more. Maybe he will
now
become the White
more
Wolf with some new
obvious,
costume. Yeah.
right? Now definitely more obvious. So, what did you think about what's her name, the lady with the red hair?
Carly.
Carly. What did you think
Morgenthau.
about her storyline throughout this whole episode, right? Because we've seen snippets of her life, right? It starts with her kind of in Latvia, and she
Was she in
finds
Latvia?
out,
I
yeah,
thought she was
she's
in
in,
Madrid. Are they not? Where are they?
no, they're in Latvia,
Oh,
in
that's
the
what
at least in the
they're in
beginning.
Latvia.
That's why they're in Latvia, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure where they were. I was like confused
Yeah, because
of
Kaylani,
the
is that her name?
Carly Morgenthau.
Carly, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
she's there for I guess her orphan mom, or I didn't fully get how she was related to her, but she clearly grew up with this Danya Madan
yeah,
lady.
Danya Madan.
Madan, okay.
Yeah, so like she was referenced once.
In last episode.
No, I think just this episode in the
This episode?
airplane.
That's it.
Oh, well, I mean, we skipped over Dr. Nagel's whole section,
Oh
but we'll get
yeah.
back to that
We'll
because
get
that's
back
actually
to that.
important. But I
Yeah.
guess like they're talking and that name is brought up, and they're questioning him about, do you know where the Flag Smashers are? And he's like, yeah, they reached out to me to see if I can help this lady Danya Madan, and she died. Or yeah, I think he didn't know she died yet, but so
Yeah.
they reached out to me if I could help her, and he said no. And then on the airplane, they're researching her, and then they find out like she is dead. And it seems like there's someone important, some kind of orphan mom, like you said.
Yeah.
But there's not really much. Like we didn't have any scenes with her. We don't know what she did. Like, why should I feel bad? Like, and then
I didn't feel bad, but I think it kind of, because I genuinely didn't think these guys were really that evil in this episode up until the end, where I was like, okay, maybe
like
it's
unexpected.
right, because you kind of like see, like, obviously they they talked about the place they were at being overcrowded, and that's why she has tuberculosis.
Yeah.
So she dies, and they're obviously very hurt by it, and throughout the whole episode that they are in, they talk about that, right? And there's a scene where she's talking to one of her guys, and she's like, well, I would have been a teacher if the world was more fair to me.
Yeah.
And she thought about how she wanted to die when she was injected with the super serum, but she's so glad she didn't, because now she can make a difference, right?
Yeah.
So when you like, that's put into into percepting, like, you can understand that, okay, these guys aren't evil, they've just been dealt a bad hand, and they're reacting to that, and they're trying to make sure that the people in their lives don't have to go through this, and they're doing what they think is fair up until the very end, when she blows up that whole building, and the guy that she's with says, there are people in there, and she's like, this is the only thing they understand.
Yeah.
This
No,
is the
I
only
like.
language
I
they
don't know if
understand.
I think it was this episode where she's like stealing the food, and then the guy's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "You guys have weeks of food here, and there's thousands of people starving." So
I
like,
don't know. Well, I thought that was that this
maybe
episode?
that might have been last week.
That might
But
have
like
been last
that's
week.
what
Yeah.
she's going for. She's like, look at the I don't know where they're stealing from, some kind of compound. I don't
Yeah,
know what
I
they're
didn't
stealing
get
from
it.
really, but
Yeah.
they have food and they're holding it and not sharing it.
Right.
Which, I mean, why would a random company give people food
They
other than like a food shelter?
Right.
But no, so they're stealing, and then she's like, the only way to prove a point, like, which is wrong, just like that's not gonna help anyone. Like,
Right.
what they're for, like, they were happy when the blip was there and they had more supplies, I guess.
They had more opportunities, and more supplies, and the world wasn't overcrowded, right? See, the whole commercial in the beginning, the show starts with like this random
The
commercial.
GRC.
Yeah, which now it makes me feel like are these like the organization that might be evil and like funding Cap, and I don't know.
He came out of the truck from their
Yep.
whatever their logo.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's the corporation, so like, yeah, obviously they're gonna end up being evil,
right.
or
They're always
corrupt
evil.
somehow.
Yeah, that's true. I was like in the beginning, I was like, that kind of looks like almost like a political campaign ad, doesn't it? Like a Democratic or Republican, I don't know, whichever one. Ad when they're like trying to say, oh, we do X, Y, and Z, and we'll do like we'll protect the people from blah 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 blah. It's always like those political ads.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Or like an energy company, they're like, we're not doing evil stuff.
Yeah. Wait, what was it? Chipotle, Verizon, and Parks and Recs.
Oh, in Park, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of made me remember that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that actually, seeing the commercial, I was like, oh, that reminds me of WandaVision.
Oh, because of all the commercials there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So yeah, did you talk? You talked a little bit about Dr. Nagel, right?
Yes, I mean, the Shelby tells them about Dr. Nagel. Dr. Nagel got blipped. Mm-hmm. He was working for the CIA, to work on a super serum. Right. And then he got blipped. He was fired. Project canceled. Then he got hired by, I don't know who he got hired by. The power broker.
The power broker, yeah.
To make the new serum. And he's like, I don't need no super machines. Like, Cap had to go into that little machine. It was injected in like 8 needles or something, and then came out. He's like, it's just one injection, was one and done. You'll be super.
I would think so. After like 50 years or whatever, 60 years, that the technology would advance. But okay.
Yeah. So, and then he's like, oh, I only made 20 of them. And then I think 8 of them were taken by the Flag Smashers. And then 12 of them have still to be used, I guess. And then Bucky was like, so do you have any here in this lab? And he's like, no, but I think Bucky was suspicious. And like, I guess that's why he shot him. He's like, if there's only 12 left, I'm going to kill you now. Or Zemo shoots him.
Zemo shoots him, yeah.
No, Zemo's like...
The other thing that was really cool, I think, in this scene is, so Sharon is outside kind of guarding them. She's the one who finds him, right? Nagel?
Yeah, she locates him, yeah.
She locates him, and she's outside kind of manning the container that he's hiding out in.
The whole container area, very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I liked her fight scenes a lot.
I think, I was going to say, she had a better action scene than Black Widow, Captain Marvel, maybe most of all the male cast. Like, that was so good.
That was good. I'm like, at the end, I was literally like clapping my hands, and I was like, wow, the girl could hold her own. She did a really good job. Like, I was impressed.
Like, she seems kind of like weak when
she's Civil
War. She's like, man, she's just the neighbor and nurse or whatever. Then she like revealed that she's super spy. Then in Civil War, she doesn't really do much. She's just like there.
She's there for what, like the kiss at the end? Is that when he kisses her?
In the middle somewhere. In the middle somewhere.
Okay.
And that's all she's really had. So this one, she's a badass like some kind of terrorist from the state.
Yep.
Became a millionaire selling art and drugs and guns, possibly.
Does she say she's a millionaire?
No, she's rich. She's rich. She's living in some.
Tell. Yeah.
Well, Bucky, Falcon looks up one of the paintings and he's like, "All right, okay, I got you."
I don't know. The whiskey decanter, to me, anyone who has that is rich anyway. She's housing them in a really nice place too, which I'm guessing is her place.
She's living somewhere nice.
Yeah.
And she has a bunch of scenes talking to Falcon and him about like, you didn't really help me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't blipped. I mean, she didn't say she wasn't blipped, but
we don't know if she was or she wasn't. That was gonna be my next question. He's like, do you think she was blipped? I'm thinking not either.
No, she couldn't like become this.
Not this rich.
In 6 months. 6 years. 5 years.
Yeah. So she had to have been alive.
No, but I did see. So like back to that scene with the crates. So I think this episode was directed by the guy who does John Wick.
Oh, that makes sense. The fighting
like
scenes
the
were
knife
great.
fights, the shooting was all like really well choreographed and well done.
Yeah, really entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Not a boring fight in sight.
No, not at all.
One. Everything, all fight had something interesting that it led up to.
Mm-hmm.
So the container fight that we were talking about, right? There's a scene in the end where she kind of tricks the guy,
mm-hmm.
and then he comes back and she shoots him, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
But then it got me thinking, and we'll discuss this later when you have your question of the episode. But
okay,
it got me thinking. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, I wanted to bring out Bucky throwing the rod into that guy's shoulder.
Oh, I feel like he kind of accessed his crazy side in this episode. Like he kind of almost reverted back.
No, he broke rule number 2. Don't hurt anybody.
Yeah, and but you could see his face, right? Like he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah,
he's not happy about it, but he was doing it to keep up appearances. I think he's gonna need a little bit more therapy after this, which I vote for. Yes, please bring those scenes back because the therapy scenes are my favorite.
Yeah, no, I think, like, to me, I keep forgetting Bucky's not a super soldier. He just has one arm that's really strong.
Yeah, right.
I keep forgetting that. He's not full super soldier.
Well, because he's also not unhinged now. So, like, when we saw him in the past few movies, right, he was kind of crazy. And
he just has his gun and he's shooting.
Right, so.
This is hand-to-hand. He's wrecking people.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else major that we missed? I mean, there's a few scenes. I don't know. There's something I want to bring up.
We talked about the ending. We talked about the flag smashers.
I want to bring up in episode 1, the first scene in the helicopter and then Falcon's flying around and stuff. We saw this George Batrock guy, and he goes into that other country. Where's he been the last 2 episodes?
Oh yeah, he wasn't mentioned again, was he?
No, what happened to that guy?
You think he's gonna come back?
Well, why bring him up?
Just
why have him escape into another country, and they're like, "Oh, you can't go into there because of U.S. policy."
Yeah, judicial whatever nonsense. Jurisdiction, is that the word? Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
Think of
whatever
any
law
words
says we don't bring the war to that land.
Correct that.
But no, it's interesting. Like he was in Winter Soldier as a small scene, and then maybe he was just here for this one scene.
Yeah, maybe just because it's a familiar name people have heard before.
A familiar face, maybe.
Right, could be.
That was it. Like it's been 2 episodes. Will he be back?
Could be. Maybe he might come back in the end with.
And then Bucky's. Sam's friend Joaquin Torres also wasn't in this episode.
No, they called him and he did like a little bit of like a phone call, like voiceover thing. But other than that,
did he this episode?
Yeah, it was. He asked Torres to look up. I think Danya.
That was last week.
No, it was in this episode.
That's in the airplane, maybe.
Yeah. He calls him and asks him to look him up, or look something up. I think it was the orphan lady.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was hoping he was in it a little bit more, but maybe towards the end of the show.
Yeah, maybe he'll be back. Well, now this episode is called The Power Broker.
Yeah, so it is.
And at the end of that, I guess the crate fight. We see Sharon go into some suspicious car, and she says, "We have a lot to discuss."
Yes.
You think Sharon Carter is the power broker, or is this a diversion?
No. See, now I watched this episode twice now, and there's several reasons why I think she is a power broker. What's his name? Nagel, who is hired by the power broker, never gets to see the power broker because Zemo kills him right as Sharon enters the container. And my theory is that maybe Zemo knows that she's a power broker, and that's why he shoots Nagel. Second is, like, who is this, like, assistant lady? Like, no one's ever seen this assistant lady that she, like, drives off with. Like, the other guys haven't seen. So they don't know how powerful she really is.
I mean, I don't think the assistant will make that like the key,
No,
but I
but
do think that she is like a powerful being in the Madripoor,
yes,
and
definitely.
she's definitely up to something. She knows more information than she's letting off.
Yes.
She knows all the players. She knew who Shelby was. She knows she's
She
been
knows
spying on
everyone.
them.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think it's her. I think it's diversion
I
because
think it's her.
Zemo in the club or bar, he's like, every town needs a king, and he's definitely we definitely need to stay under his radar. And I don't know if that's just because he said king, and he's like,
You
we
think
need to
it's a
stay under
dude?
his radar. I think it might be a dude,
That's a
and
mightily sexist of you.
I
Very
mean,
sexist indeed.
if it's Sharon, that's pretty cool.
No, she makes an
Like
appearance in an episode
Falcon,
called The Power Broker, and she's in most of it.
yeah, that's true.
So
There was a painting in the wall somewhere that says a power broker is watching, and it was just eyes, like 4 different eyes. I don't know what that meant.
you think that the Power Broker is like, I'm not torturing. What's the word for it? Controlling her, like
Yeah, it could be. She could be like the assistant to the power broker,
to the Power Broker.
assistant regional
I
manager to the
assistant
power broker.
to the region, yeah, to the Power Broker. No, I think maybe like if the Power Broker is, if you think like a dude, maybe
Yeah.
it's someone who's like blackmailing her into doing the things that she does. And
Is she is it a random? Is what I'm wondering. Like, if it's not her, will it be a completely new person coming in?
I hope not. I want it to be her. She needs something badass to do. She could clearly kick butt, which is why I was thinking like the other reason I think maybe she might not be is just the scene they're like out in the container. Like
Mm-hmm.
all those people, wouldn't the power broker like hire them to like protect Nagel because Nagel's creating the super serum? So why would she like
Yeah.
hurt all her people?
Well, I mean, someone put a bounty out on whoever killed Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was $1 billion or was that one Bitcoin. It went by too fast. There's a lot of people willing to kill for 160K, but 1 billion, yeah, definitely.
Easily. Oh god, yeah.
No, I mean, it's like if it's an unknown, or is it someone bigger in the world we don't know about?
Yeah.
And right now, like, what's coming out in the future? What future movies? Same as WandaVision. It's like, all right, we know we're leading into Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
This one, what are we leading into? Maybe Black Panther 2.
Definitely
The other
Black
one,
Panther too.
kind of have my eyes open to, is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Seven Rings. 10 rings, 7 rings, whatever the book is called. So Shang-Chi, the main villain, is going to be the Mandarin.
Okay.
The Mandarin
Not the Mandarin from Iron Man, right?
Well, the post-credit scene was shown that like that Mandarin was a fraud. Well, the whole movie, the end of the movie was that Mandarin's a fraud, and then there is a real crime organization called the Mandarin.
Okay.
And I think, what if the Mandarin or someone who works for the Mandarin is the power broker for Madripoor?
Okay. All right. So you think that because that's the new movie coming,
want it to be like
leading
like something big, like something related to leading into something to the future.
Yeah, but I think because of WandaVision, where they like the main stories, they kind of finish in the show. I think they might finish this in the show too. So they might not have something like more overarching. Just from what I saw from WandaVision, I'm thinking that they're gonna close out the books on any story that they create in this this particular series.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to get overhyped.
Yeah, exactly. Like
we like, all right, we're gonna see the Mandarin here, and then that's gonna be in Shang-Chi, and we're gonna see Shang-Chi revealed at the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
Imagine we see
you're getting overhyped.
Simu Lee, is that his name? Jung from Kim's Convenience.
Yeah. Shin Lee? Yeah, Shin Lee.
Is it Shin Lee?
I think so.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he's a cool guy. Definitely great character, great show, Kim's Convenience.
Yes.
No, I can't wait for that movie. That's coming out this year in September. Got delayed again. But I'm excited. It's like, come on, like if you could lead into it, like how cool would that be? Be like, all right, April, it's ending. Then 4 months later, we're gonna see like the bigger stuff, and maybe Bucky and Falcon will be in there as a cameo.
You think?
No, I doubt it.
I think we might.
Plus, that's based in China. I don't know if they're gonna be in Madripoor.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. I looked it up, but it's Simu. That last name is definitely Simuli.
We'll find out soon. He's gonna be famous, big time.
Yes. He's a good actor, though. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am excited. I don't think it's gonna quite span that many things. I think right now the only clear line I'm seeing is towards Black Panther. But other than that, I'm not guessing for any other movies. I'm not gonna get excited like I did with WandaVision.
To see Doctor Strange.
Exactly.
Who's the big cameo for this season? Do you think we'll have a big cameo?
No. I don't think so. Because WandaVision didn't really have any big cameos.
I think Quicksilver was a big cameo. It turned out the way we thought, but it was a big cameo. We were hyped as fuck after episode 4.
Oh yeah. After that, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is a good.
I think the internet freaked out after that one.
Yeah, because they purposely like try to like make it seem like they're opening up the X-Men universe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what they did at least not with WandaVision. I don't know if
that's stuff I see online. Madripoor is like a big city for X-Men, and like Wolverine hangs out here sometimes, and this person.
We're getting overhyped again.
And then they're like, oh, there was this one like alleyway where the X looked like an X-Men logo, and it's like, no, come on, stop.
The internet. Oh, the internet.
I haven't been watching the credits, but apparently they're like been teasers for the future, because the first episode had Madripoor and then like the Power Broker. I haven't been paying attention to them, but I think they may reveal some small stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna go back and watch the credits.
Yeah,
gotta do that now. Wow, I did not know that. Not 3 more episodes. We have 3 more times 2 more times to make sure that we catch the end credits before the episode premieres.
No, I mean, I don't think they're that exciting. Like, it's maybe like one name.
Listen, if it helps us make theories, we'll try it out so that we can kind of dial back our expectation.
Or hype up our expectation.
Or hype them up. With us, we're probably going to get hyped up.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I had. I'm sticking to Sharon Carter being Power Broker as of now. I still think she killed Shelby. I think she just hired one of her guys to do it. And yeah.
I think it's someone bigger, like the Mandarin. Right.
Let's see who'll win.
Okay.
All right. I'm done yapping.
Okay, I'm done for this episode too.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week.